Let's talk about how to build a network, even if you're an introvert. Savinder Puri and Amitabh Bachchan separated by 6 degrees of separation. Let me explain how. A lot of my speaking assignments, writing assignments in the past have come from the network. People know people, people talk to people, people recommend people. Building a network is not a 1 month, 2 months, 6 months game. To me and the way I think about it, it's a lifestyle change. Sir, I saw your video, मेरी जिंदगी बदल गई, मजा आ गया life का, big fan of you. It doesn't help, man. Cool down, talk sense, talk facts, talk from the heart, no fake flattering, please. Networking should not be done with a very selfish purpose. I am doing networking because I want a job, I want to talk at a conference, I want this favor from this person. That cannot be the core of networking. The core of networking has to be something called quid pro quo. This looks like bloody hard work. Yes, it is. Do you have to do it every single time? Yes, my friend. Is it worth it? You answer what your network is worth for you. Mine is worth $1 million and more. I'm pretty sure about that. Hello girls and boys, how's it going? So we all in our lives know that one person who seems to be connected with anybody and everybody. That one person can walk into a room filled with strangers and strike a conversation with almost anybody. And you go see them 10 minutes later, they're talking as if they are like best friends. That person never eats alone. That person is a networker or a born networker. Is that really it? We all want to be a version of that person sometime or the other, right? Especially when you go into now the Christmas season, the New Year parties, or you go to a tech conference, we really want a shade of that person, right? Now, we all know how important it is to network and to create these network. Yet, when we try to do it in our head, we make a fool of ourselves. Let's talk about that in this video. Let's talk about how to build a network, even if you're an introvert. My name is Savinder Puri and I've been in this build, release, DevOps, software engineering area for over 2 decades. I currently work as Associate VP, DevSecOps and SRE with the major SI. You can connect on LinkedIn to know more about my profile. So strap on your seatbelts, let's get started. So there's a concept called 6 degrees of separation. What does it mean? It says ideally everybody is connected to everybody in the world in 6 connections. It is also known as the 6 golden handshakes. So let me give you an example. Savinder Puri and Amitabh Bachchan separated by 6 degrees of separation. Let me explain how. So one of my friends from college is a general manager in a bank in Delhi. That's separation 1. That guy's brother-in-law is an author who stays in Shimla. 2. That author guy has a property in Goa which he's rented out to a script writer. Number 3. That script writer's previous roommate was a guy from Bombay. 4. That guy's in Bombay. He is working with a movie producer who has produced a lot of movies of Amitabh Bachchan. Number 5. Now these two guys, guy from Shimla and the guy from Goa, they were together in Lonavala a couple of years ago and I have met both of them. My friend in Delhi introduced me, said, hey, you stay in Pune. These guys are moving around in Lonavala. Can you do some help? So I know these two guys directly. 5 degrees and we are at Amitabh Bachchan. So theoretically, in an ideal world, there could be a situation where I could get into a room and at least say hi, hello to Amitabh Bachchan. That's 6 degrees of separation. That's the power of a network. Fun exercise. Try and do this exercise for yourself, for the most famous people that you would want to meet. It's an amazing exercise. You'll have a lot of fun. Try it. So how has building a network helped me personally? As you know, I've been fairly active on YouTube and LinkedIn now for the last almost close to a year now, but I have been working on building my network for close to 10 years now. You can look up my chronology on my body of work on YouTube, on Google. If you do a Google search, you'll figure out that I've been actively speaking, conferences, writing blogs, all of that stuff for more than 10 years now. Let me tell you how it has helped me. Got my remote job because of the network. How? They were looking out for the right person. They found out my body of work online. What I always talk about learning in public. They saw some of my conferences, they saw some of my notes, they reached out to me. But as I was interviewing, where I was talking to the CIO and the CIO -1, we happened to know some common people. And that really helped in the conversion, because I know that they've spoken to at least one person who's in common. So that helped there. A lot of my speaking assignments, writing assignments in the past have come from the network. People know people talk to people recommend people. And that's how it happens. Technology sounding board. I have a bunch of friends who are very good at certain technologies. One of them is a Kubernetes expert. One of them is a serverless expert. One of them is a networking/cloud guru. You know the hint. So these kind of folks. Now, whenever I'm stuck in a technical issue, I call up one of these friends and ask for help. I have a consulting sounding board. These are people who have been doing consulting for a while, and I go to them when I have a consulting issue. This happened, that happened. How should I approach this issue? How should I resolve this? Obviously abstracting out all the proprietary details, but you need people like that when you are at a senior level to be able to sound off some ideas, to be able to bounce off some approaches, because experience builds experience. And then finally, the biggest network of all, LinkedIn and YouTube. Today, when I have to recruit somebody at my organization for my team, I put out a LinkedIn post, I get some very solid resumes. It has happened in the past. You can follow me on LinkedIn, you will know about it. When I have to recruit for my customers, I do the same. So that's how a network has helped me in various aspects of my life. Now, a warning to you. This all sounds very cute and sexy, but I should tell you that this takes considerable effort over a very long period of time. Building a network is not a 1 month, 2 months, 6 months game. To me, and the way I think about it, it's a lifestyle change. It's like exercise. You do it for 6 months, it's great, but the only benefit it gives you is when you do it consistently every single week, week after week. That's the way I think about networking as well. You have to find a way to plug in networking into your daily life. How do I do it? I spend maybe 15 to 20 minutes every single day on networking, active networking. What do I do in that? I spend time on LinkedIn. I spend time responding to YouTube comments, because this is growing and the largest source of networking for me. I also spend time DMing people. A lot of you know that I respond as much as possible to direct DMs on LinkedIn. I also actively talk to new people on LinkedIn, put comments there. So 15-20 minutes almost every single day, that goes in networking. That's how I do it. One caveat in this, networking should not be done with a very, very selfish purpose. I am doing networking because I want a job, I want to talk at a conference, I want this favor from this person. That cannot be the core of networking. The core of networking has to be something called quid pro quo. What does that mean? It means something for something, which means basically dono ka fayda. I help somebody, somebody helps me. That has to be the very core of the reason why you're networking. First, you have to help people, and a lot, and across time, before you can build that currency where you can go ask for help. So remember this and do the networking for the right reasons. So let's talk about the big question. How do I start creating my network? Now, this is where a lot of people start getting anxious, because you're not comfortable talking to strangers. And I understand that. I have been there. I have worked on this skill. I have worked on this craft. So I have a simple suggestion for you. Initially, do not talk to strangers. If that's your uncomfortable zone, don't go there yet. And what do? You talk to people that you know or have known but are not in active touch now. Because you knew them at some point. They are your college friends, your school friends, your friends from your previous jobs who know you. They maybe have your number as well, but you've not been in active touch. You've not spoken to them for years. These are what are called dormant connections. They are connections, but like a bank account, they are dormant. There has been no transaction. We need to step up and do a transaction here. How do you do that? The best and the most simplest thing to do, on your Facebook, every single day you get a notification about a birthday. Pick up that notification and don't just go on Facebook and say, hey dude, happy birthday. It doesn't work. Make an effort and find out the phone number of that friend. If you don't have it, get it from somebody. Call up that friend. Say, hey dude, Facebook gave me a notification. It's your birthday today. How's it going, man? It's been a while. Talk about old memories. Talk about, girlfriends, common friends. Hey, do you know where that person is? Do you know what happened to that person? Talk about all of that. Nobody will hate you for wishing them on their birthday. It's a fantastic way. Also, if you're visiting another city and you know that you have some friends there, call them up and say, hey, I'm coming to your city. I'm coming for a holiday. I'm coming for some work. Do you have time to catch up for a coffee, for a drink? Do that. Make some effort. If not, no birthdays, no visits, just go on LinkedIn, pick up your older connections and just, give them a buzz. Send them a message. Hey, buddy, it's been 5 years since we spoke. Just want to check on you. No agenda, no slyness, just pure, honest making connections. And if you do this with the purity of your heart, you will enjoy it so much because it will bring back so much of the nostalgia and it is great to revive friendships. Try it for a while. It is awesome. It takes the effort, but bloody hell, it's worth it. Because why not? Friends is what we live for. Alright, another big thing that people often talk about is going to conferences or networking events and creating network there. Now that is the scary part because this is where you will have to talk to strangers. But the truth is, these are the people that you want to really network with. Your college friends might be in different fields, might be in different cities, countries, might not be the immediate network that you're looking for. It's good to get that warmed up, but going to conferences is really the best way to create a network. But I'll paint you a story. You go to a conference, it's great. You meet the speaker that you're most interested in. You love the guy, you've seen his or his content. You walk up to them and all you can say is, hello sir, I'm Savinder, big fan of your work. I loved your talk. Thank you very much. The guy shakes your hand. You stand there for 2 minutes. Others also come and do more or less the same thing. And then the speaker moves on. Did you really build a network? Sure, you maybe clicked a picture or two. You maybe posted that picture on LinkedIn. 20 people commented on that. That's all great. You got your mileage, you got your leverage. But did you build a network? Will the speaker remember you? Will the speaker remember this interaction? Not really. So what do? How do you build a network at a conference? It starts even before the conference. So let's say you're going to a conference 2 weeks from now. Look at the agenda. Let's say there are 20 speakers. Pick up the 5 speakers that you most resonate with. These are the speakers that you've seen the content of, you like their style of writing, speaking. If they have videos, you resonate with them. Pick up what they're talking about. Read about that topic a little bit. But make a list of their talks. See, there are no overlapping talks because in a conference, talks are happening in parallel. So you can attend only so many talks at a time. So plan your whole day. This time I will talk to this person, I will attend this session, then take a break. Plan your entire day on what speakers you're going to be listening to. Then when you go into that session, make notes. Listen to what they are saying. If you have a question, write it down. You might not ask it at that time because you're shy, and there are 100 other people sitting. That's fine. Make a note of your question. Make a note of something that your mind is really blown away by. Arey, kya point tha yaar? Amazing. I really love this. Make a note of that. And then as the session finishes, when the speaker comes out, don't approach them. Why do I say that? Because that's the time when it is most crowded. Everybody wants to go and talk to the speaker who's just spoken. Don't do that. Hold. Talk to them at maybe tea time. Talk to them when they are just strolling around. Talk to them when they're coming from the loo break. Secret tips that I'm giving you that I have personally used to connect to people that I adore. Find out a lean time when they're quietly in a corner getting tea. Go ahead, talk to them. What do you say? Hey sir, I'm a big fan of you. I just heard your talk. I have just one question about it. Is it a good time to ask that question? Most probably they're going to say, yeah, sure. And then ask that question. And then shut up and listen to the reply. It might be a technical question from the talk. Or you might say, hey, I read this content that you wrote. I have a question here. You wrote blah, blah, blah. I wanted to know your thought process. Why did you write this? What it tells the speaker, you've done your research, you have genuine questions, you're looking for answers. And then when you do this interaction for about a minute or so, whip out your phone, open up LinkedIn and bring up your QR code link of LinkedIn, right? Figure that out, do a quick Google search, you will know that. Once you flip out your phone and put out your QR code, 90% they are going to flip out their phone and scan it. It's basic human decency. I'm assuming the speaker is a decent fellow and not an a-hole. They will scan it. What have you done? You have made it to their contacts. And that is an amazing first step. Then what do? You go back home. A day or two later, you send a personal DM. Now you can, because you're in their contacts. Say, hey sir, I met you at that conference. We had lovely interaction. Thank you for taking the time out to talk to me. Appreciate it. Something like that. You will probably 99% not get a response, but maybe they would have read it. The next time they post a video, write something on YouTube, write a blog, watch out. Make some comments on that. You do this a couple of times. If they respond back, you have occupied one cell in their brain. That's when you make a connection. Now question. This looks like bloody hard work. Yes, it is. Do you have to do it every single time? Yes, my friend. Is it worth it? You answer what your network is worth for you. Mine is worth $1 million and more. I'm pretty sure about that. Let's talk about some tips to networking. These are the things that I've picked up over the years that have made myself a better networker. This is me sharpening the axe, working on the craft. I'll share this with you. The first one is very obvious. It's called the 80-20 rule. Listen 80%, talk 20%. The goal of meeting a person whom you want to network is not to impress them by your wisdom. The goal is to ask the right questions so that they can answer and then they will remember you. So 80-20 rule. Second, make notes after you've met the person. Because when you meet the person the second time, if you can refer that conversation, it'll be mind-blowing. Because people remember people who remember conversations. Example, if you met me at a conference and you asked me a question and I replied and we connected somehow, and then 6 months later, you meet me another conference and you say, hey sir, we met 6 months back. I asked you this question. This is the response that you gave me. It's been really helpful to me. After that, we connected on LinkedIn as well. I was there in one of your live sessions. It's been a big help. What would I understand? This guy is serious. He's been following on the work. He's listening to what I'm telling. He's a good guy. Worth networking. Number third and most important, do not fake flatter. Do not say like, sir, I saw your video, meri zindagi badal gayi, maza aa gaya life ka, big fan of you. It doesn't help, man. Doesn't help. Cool down, talk sense, talk facts, talk from the heart. No fake flattering, please. It's obnoxious. Alright, let's look at some FAQs now. These are the kind of questions that I get every once in a while. Sir, I'm from a tier 2, tier 3 city. How do I build a network? I understand you, my friend. So, first of all, you start networking from where you are. Because that's your strongest network. What do I mean by that? Network with your seniors. Network with the guy who just got a job in your college. Network with the person who's cracked 2 internships. Network with your junior who's looking very, very promising and who just won the hackathon. Network with the organizers of the hackathon, organizers of committees in college. This is your immediate network. Once you're comfortable with that, then go online and start networking. How do you do that? LinkedIn, Twitter, all of that stuff. Third, go to online conferences. Post-COVID, a lot of conferences are free. Go there, attend that, and then in a majority of the conferences, there is at least a chat where you can chat with the participant. Use the same techniques I told for physical conferences here. Not as effective, but it's still a good shot. So do that. Question 2. Sir, does it make sense to join communities? Communities for DevOps, cloud, there are certification communities, there are communities around tooling, Kubernetes, Ansible. Does it make sense to join those communities? Of course, my friend, why not? Assuming that the community is active, there are people there and they're helping each other, and the goal of the community is not to sell them your next course. That is a different ballgame. But if there are a lot of people who are helping each other, then why not? The goal should be to have access to like-minded people where you can share resources, you can share ideas. Hey, I'm stuck in this. How you solve this? Those kind of things. Making good quality friends is a very essential skill. And you make a lot of good friends when you go into these communities. Question 3. Sir, I've joined some communities. How do I get noticed in that community? What do I do? Dude, you do what you're supposed to do in a community. Be a part of the community. Ask questions, answer questions. If you don't know the answer, research and do the answer and say, hey, I did some research for you. Here is a link that I found, could be useful for me. Participate. Try and get those badges in the community, because they will give you some recognition. Do some volunteer work. If there are some Discord communities, volunteer to be an community admin. Do all of this. It takes effort, but it's worth the reward. Sir, I want to present in conferences in 2025. How do I go? This is a good time to start preparing for conversations, for conferences in 2025. Do a simple Google search, DevOps conference, CFP, call for paper, 2025. You'll get a list, start applying through them, see the conferences that you like, and then start applying. But before doing all of this, make a list of your key skills, make a list of your top projects, make a list of some topics that you're passionate about. Find some creative topic headlines. What's the title of your talk? And a small synopsis of the talk. That's a 1 paragraph explaining what is this talk about, who's the audience for the talk, how the talk will help, and what are the key takeaways from this talk. These are the couple 3 or 4 things that you put in the synopsis. Have this ready and use Perplexity. For this purpose, I find Perplexity much better than our friend ChatGPT. Even Gemini is good for this. Not ChatGPT gives more generic answers. So try these 2 and find a very interesting topic for your talk, and then create the synopsis. Once you have this, start looking for RFPs and start applying there. And that's how you get invited to conferences. Hope this video made sense. Let me know in the comments what you think about it, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.